How do you get closure with a narcissist? The truth of the matter is that most oftentimes you cannot. But be encouraged. In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 ways that you can get closure in your life without needing to get closure from the narcissist. Now, before we get into it, for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Shaneen Megji. Welcome to my YouTube channel called Toxicity is Not Your Destiny, where I put out weekly videos on how to navigate toxic relationships and environments in your life from a biblical, practical, and spiritual perspective. So if you are interested in receiving content from me on a regular basis, subscribe to my channel and click on the bell so that you can be the first to know whenever I upload a video. So without further ado, let's dive into the subject. Sometimes there's no closure when a relationship ends with a narcissist, and I believe this happens for 2 reasons. First, the narcissist thrives on leaving things ambiguous, open-ended, and undefined so that they don't have to be pinned down in any way or be held to account. In their world, everything is subject to change. They may tell you something with great conviction today, but all that can change by this afternoon or tomorrow. So even though the narcissist may be discarding you today, or you may be the one ending it all with the narcissist, all that can change in the narcissist's mind by later on. The second reason narcissists don't like to give closure is because they know fully well that withholding a sense of closure from someone who is bonded to them can cause a lot of emotional distress, and it can make it difficult for them to move on. So many narcissists thrive on inflicting this kind of pain because it feeds into their sense of grandiosity, of self-importance and significance. It's a form of narcissistic supply. And it also allows them to mete out their punishment and rage against the person they are discarding in an underhanded way. So at the end of the day, the narcissist's lack of closure says a lot about them and their character and has nothing to do with your worth as a person. So you really need to know that. So how can you get closure when the narcissist refuses to give it? I'm going to share some practical tips that hopefully can be a help to you so that you can move forward into the plans and purposes that God has destined for your life. So the first way to get closure, it can be deeply helpful to have some kind of a goodbye action. And this could mean writing a goodbye letter to your narcissist, which you never send, but you tear up or delete after. It could involve a ritual of sorts, nothing formal or big, where you just go somewhere, say in nature or by the water, and you say goodbye. And you release something as you do it. So you might have to say goodbye to more than one person. And when you say goodbye, you can cast something into the water that represents the person you are saying goodbye to, maybe a flower or a leaf or a twig or a pebble, whatever makes sense for the situation and the relationship that you are in. When you engage in this type of act to say goodbye, it can give a real closure where you are not able to get it from the narcissist. And so I find this extremely powerful. A second way to get closure is to break the soul tie with a narcissist. So I have a separate video just on that one step, which I would encourage you to watch with this one. So this video takes on closure from a spiritual dimension, which is very important because we're not only physical beings, but we are mostly spiritual beings occupying a physical body. So tackling closure on all dimensions, spirit, soul, and body, is the most effective way, I believe, to go about it and to go about moving forward with your life. So the third way to get closure is to remove any objects around you that remind you of your narcissist, such as their photos, gifts they may have given you, or letters, or anything of sentimental value. This can also include digital stuff like photos, videos, emails, texts, files. I would encourage you to delete them, or if you're not in a place where you can get rid of them immediately, start by archiving everything. You can put digital stuff in a file that's not easily visible to you or accessible. You can put the objects that remind you of the narcissist into a box and store it somewhere where it would not be easy to access, and just keep it away from access until you have healed sufficiently enough that seeing that stuff would not provoke any sadness or pain. And maybe at a later date, you can throw that stuff away or just give it away. The fourth thing you can do, sometimes you need to step into a whole new identity, because ending a relationship with a narcissist often comes with going through a massive awakening process. You have awakened to realizing that the reality you thought you lived in is not really what was real. And the person you were before that, who enabled all the dysfunction in the relationship, is not you anymore. So when you go through an awakening, you can never go back to the person you were before. And so with that awakening comes a whole new identity and a new way of being, a new way of thinking and living. And so here's a helpful thing, which I know may sound a bit weird, but it is effective. So the fourth way to get some closure is to get rid of your old clothes, especially the clothing that you used to wear all the time when you were in a relationship with that narcissist. I would encourage you to get rid of those clothes, give them away, and all the clothes that represent that season of your life. Get rid of it and buy some new clothes for yourself that represents where you're going in life and who you're becoming. And that is a really huge thing. And another thing God might lead you to do is change your name, or go by a different name, or adjust your existing name. When you go with a different name, it can be a powerful outward sign and proclamation of the new you. So remember, God often changed people's names after they overcame a massive trial or underwent a transformation, or to speak of who they were becoming and to help them cut ties with the old person that they no longer were, and to really step into their true identity. So if you are sensing that you are stepping into your truest identity, ask God about what name He has for you in this next season of your life. So changing your name can bring healing and closure, and even give you vision for where you're going next and who you're becoming. And as I mentioned, changing your clothes also can bring healing and closure. Now, there's a fifth thing that you can do to also bring closure, and this has to do with moving out of your space into a new space. And I'm not saying you have to do this to have closure, but it may be something you need to do. A physical move can be a beautiful symbol of a move happening at a spirit and soul level. On many levels, it represents outwardly what is changing inwardly. So that might involve moving to a new city or a new country or a new continent, where you're basically starting your life over again with brand new people. So it may be necessary to move when your life has been especially shipwrecked and the breakup with a narcissist resulted in you losing an entire system or community of people that are still enabling the narcissist and possibly being used by the narcissist to bring secondhand abuse into your life. So now you've been awakened, and God may be calling you to leave and move on. And it can very well be that God has been preparing you all along to move to another geographical place and use all this turbulence in your relationship with the narcissist to rock the boat, to get you so uncomfortable with where you are now that you are finally motivated to leave and to get out of your comfort zone and trust God with the next season of your life. Where you are might have felt like home all this time, but maybe the grace to stay has lifted. And just like Abraham had to leave his family and leave everybody he knew to go to the next place God had for him, where his purpose actually was, God may be calling you to do the same thing. So it may be time for you to move, to pack up your house, to get rid of all the old things you know, and to start over, because God has a plan and a purpose for your life. So know this, even though you're doing things for closure with a narcissist, your life doesn't have to be over. This can be the ending of one difficult era or season, but the beginning of a new and beautiful season where God leads you towards your purpose. If you turn to God and let Him be in charge of your life and guide you step by step, He can make all things beautiful for you. There's a verse in Ecclesiastes which says that God makes all things beautiful in His time. Now, the Bible says that in this world we'll also have trouble, so life isn't going to be perfect, but Jesus has overcome the world, and he can fill us with so much joy and peace and love that we can go through troubles and trials unfazed, because we know that he is able to provide. He is faithful to fulfill his promises. So I just want to leave you with that. I hope this video was helpful. What I shared, though, is not an exhaustive list of things you can do for closure. I'm sure there are other things and other ways. So if there are other things that you might have done that I didn't mention that helped you to get closure with the narcissist in your life, I invite you to share those things in the comments section. What you share could save another person from going through prolonged agony and distress over a breakup. And I also created a video on how to cope after a breakup with a narcissist, which would go well with this video. It's a lot about helping you to move forward with your life when you are so tempted to miss the narcissist and to feel lonely and empty. So hopefully these two videos would really help you to gain a momentum to go into your future and to soar. And if you'd like to see some more content from me and have not subscribed yet, click the subscribe button and click the bell so you can get the alerts and be aware every time I post a new video. And if you like the video, please also give it a like. This just helps me to know what kind of content you like and what kind of content I should put out there. And if you have suggestions of other topics you would like me to cover, please also feel free to drop those ideas in the comments section. I read all your comments. I don't always respond to all of them, but I definitely read them all, and I appreciate them so much. So this brings me to the end of my video. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.